Thank you for staying tuned. The world news at 12 begins outside the shores of Nigeria, where Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has denounced leaders who recognize the Palestinian state as he heads the United States today for White House talks and an address to the United Nations General Assembly. His remarks came 3 days after France led a special summit on the sidelines of the General Assembly, which saw a slew of Western governments recognize the state of Palestine against the backdrop of the nearly 2-year Gaza war. Netanyahu is due to address the assembly on Friday. On Wednesday, Netanyahu said the recent flurry of recognitions of Palestinian statehood, including by Britain and France, did not obligate Israel in any way, calling it a shameful capitulation of some leaders to Palestinian terror. U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff said on Wednesday he expected a breakthrough related to Gaza in the coming days, saying Trump had presented a plan to Arab and Islamic countries. Back home in Nigeria, 6 persons, including a trapped victim, were rescued on Wednesday after a 2-story building collapsed on Modupeola Street, Mongoro, in the Alimosho local government area of Lagos State. The incident occurred at about 6 p.m., barely 2 weeks after 4 people lost their lives when a 3-story building caved in at Borno Street, Ebute Metta. Confirming the development in a statement posted on his Instagram handle on Wednesday, the Lagos State Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Benga Omotosho, said operatives of the Lagos State Emergency Management Authority and other first responders swiftly arrived at the scene. He explained that responders rescued 6 people from the rubble. According to him, the 5 rescued victims were taken to a private hospital nearby, while the trapped victim, who sustained a fracture and bruises, was transported by the Lagos State Ambulance Service to the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital Surgical Emergency. Meanwhile, in a recent development, the immediate past River State Administrator, Vice Admiral Ibok Ete IBAS, retired, was on Wednesday in Aso Rock, where he was received by President Bola Tinubu in company with the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, and Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Ola Olukoede. IBAS, who bowed out as Rivers Administrator on September 17 after spending 6 months in the saddle, arrived at the State House at about 6 p.m. and was ushered into the meeting by Edun and Olukoede. Wednesday's meeting comes 3 days after the erstwhile sole administrator rejected calls by the Rivers State House of Assembly to probe spending during his 6-month watch. Details of the meeting have not been made public, although one source close to the president confirmed that IBAS's appearance is connected to his 6-month stewardship in the oil-rich state. In the meantime, President Bola Tinubu has reportedly ordered the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, to proceed on leave after being accused of betraying the All Progressives Congress APC. Sahara Reporters explained that insiders reviewed the directive followed complaints from Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma, who met Tinubu shortly after his return from a 12-day trip. Uzodinma allegedly told the president that Mahmood Yakubu's approval of new political parties towards the end of his tenure was a deliberate attempt to weaken the APC's preparations for the 2027 elections. The governor also accused the INEC chairman of secretly backing a rival candidate in the forthcoming Imo governorship election. Following the briefing, the president reportedly instructed Yakubu to step aside immediately and suspend all official engagement. We do know that President Tinubu is expected to send a replacement nominee for INEC chairman to the National Assembly within days. The federal government has launched a sweeping crackdown on academic certificate forgery, directing all ministries, departments, agencies, military and paramilitary formations to begin mandatory verification of staff academic credentials from October 6, 2025. The directive follows mounting concerns from academics about the erosion of educational integrity and the proliferation of fake certificates across the country. According to the government, the reform will be implemented through the National Policy for the Nigeria Education Repository and Data Bank (NERD). Under the policy, every ministry, department, agency and institution, public or private, civilian or military, must subject staff and prospective employees' qualifications to strict verification checks. At the core of the reform is the Nigeria Education Repository and Data Bank, a centralized digital platform designed to store, manage, preserve, and verify academic records and publications from all tiers of the education system. Designed as a one-stop hub for academic data, NERD allows instant authentication of certificates while serving as a permanent archive for historical academic outputs. Analysts have warned that the policy could lead to widespread job losses, particularly in the public service, private schools, and tertiary institutions. Still on the world news at 12, tensions are rising in Adamawa State after local government chairman approved the leadership training to Istanbul in Turkey for their wives. According to reports, 21 spouses accompanied by senior officials from the Ministry of Local Government left the country last week for the program. The move has drawn sharp criticism from workers and pensioners who have condemned it as extravagant and tone deaf. Suleiman Tongo, chairman of Tongo Local Government and head of the Association of Local Government of Nigeria in the state, confirmed the trip. He defended the decision, pointing out that the chairmen themselves had attended a similar overseas training just 2 months prior. However, both workers and retirees voiced strong opposition, criticizing the government for what they saw as misplaced priorities, especially while many are still waiting to receive their gratuities. You are still listening to the World News at 12 right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. We'll take a short break and return with more news and the news analysis segment. To stay tuned. Welcome back. Still on the world news at 12, Yaga Africa, a non-profit organization, has warned that Nigeria's 2027 general elections risk being the most compromised and possibly the costliest in the nation's history. The group's executive director, Samson Itodo, raised the concern on Wednesday during an interview where he spoke on the state of Nigeria's elections and the leadership of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. He noted that the 2027 elections could most likely be the most compromised and perhaps the most expensive. He also noted that the public trust in the electoral process is at its lowest and raised concerns about the forthcoming leadership transition at INEC. He noted that the incumbent INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, has been there for 10 years and his exit will leave a vacuum. He also noted that if a new INEC chairman is appointed, asking is there sufficient time for him to settle down. He noted that there are commissioners who will leave next year and others exiting on the eve of the 2027 elections, making the situation quite significant. Meanwhile, with Nigerians approaching the 2027 presidential elections, some stakeholders in the southeast have continued to scrutinize the single-term proposal by the Labour Party presidential candidate in 2023, Peter Obi. While some believe that if allowed, Obi could turn the tide around for good in Nigeria within 4 or 5 years as he proposed, others were of the view that such a time frame was not enough to fix the country. Obi had caused a stir with the political scene when he announced his plan of a one-term presidency of 5 years during a courtesy visit to Governor Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State in August 2025. Obi said a Nigerian president should not have a second term as it is practiced in South Korea. He noted that it should be 5 years straight so that people can come in knowing they will have a job to do. Meanwhile, dismissing Obi's remarks, national chairman of the Action Alliance, Kenneth Udeze, warned against taking Obi's words hook, line and sinker. Udeze also noted that a one-term presidency portrays Obi as someone who's trying to woo Nigerians because he is in a dire need to become president. The AA national chairman maintained that 4 years is not enough to put Nigerians on the right footing and turn the tides around. He disclosed that issues of insecurity, crisis, corruption, and other distractions would always surface during an administration that would make governance difficult during the first term. Udeze noted that a lot of crises emanated in someone's administration, but if he enters as president, then he would be distracted. The APGA 2023 Imo East senatorial candidate Chima Anthony said the B's proposal for a one-term presidency is a welcome idea as he can achieve a lot within the time frame. Still on the world news at 12, the federal government has unveiled the official theme for the 2025 independence anniversary. The anniversary is tagged Nigeria at 65, all hands on deck for a greater nation. This was disclosed in a statement on Wednesday by the Director of Information and Public Relations Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, SGF, Segun Imohiose. The statement noted that the theme for Nigeria at 65 underscores the need for unity, collaboration and patriotism among the public sector, private sector, civil society and the citizenry towards building a nation characterized by sustainable peace, prosperity and progress. You're also listening to the World News at 12 right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. We've been trying to reach out to our analyst for today, Honorable Sunday Moses Oladapo, who's the House of Assembly candidate for Ikorodu Constituency 1, Lagos State of the ADC. He's also the leader of the ADC in Ikorodu and Lagos. We are trying to talk about the situation within the ADC and, of course, the situation in Nigeria's polity today. I will be joined by Honorable Sunday Moses Oladapo very, very shortly. Do stay tuned. You're listening to the World News at 12. Honorable, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining me on the World News at 12. This is Chioma Innocent.
Yes, good afternoon, Chioma, and to our listener, good afternoon, very good afternoon.
Thank you so much for joining me. I've been trying to call you directly, but it just wasn't going through, but I'm glad I've been able to reach you.
Okay.
Thank you so much. All right, Honorable, let's get right into the issues, starting with what is actually going on within your own party. Honorable, can you hear me? There is an echo right there.
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly well. I don't know if you can.
I can hear you, but there is an echo.
Okay, how is it now?
It seems to me it's so much better. All right, let's start with Atiku Abubakar trying to woo Yoruba people, saying they'll get juicy appointment in his government and they should support him because he married a Yoruba woman. Has the ADC put forward Atiku Abubakar as their presidential candidate in 2027 without letting Nigerians know about it or without a proper primaries?
Well, thank you so much, and thank you, our listeners. The ADC, as a party, welcomed competition for its primary election to choose its candidate for the 27 election. But being that the truth of the matter as we stand is that Atiku has been very visible in ADC. So, but the party has not put anybody forward presently. But I can tell you the truth that Atiku has been very visible in the party. As we speak now, I know that Peter Obi is also in the party, but most of his followers are waiting for a full and final directive, which Atiku had done that. So presently, Atiku is not having any baggage. You know, he had resigned from the PDP formally, and he has joined the party. But if you look at other candidates like Rotimi Amechi, who is also running, had also left the PDP, but the team cannot be talked for the other top contender in Peter Obi. We've not seen him resign formally from the Labour Party so that he can only...
Honorable, are you saying it's okay that Atiku Abubakar seems to be going on a campaign and putting himself forward as a candidate of the party without a proper primaries? He is saying, vote for me, I'll carry you along in my presidency if I become president in 2027.
Well, Atiku, this is a political game. Atiku is already playing his game ahead of time, which is not a crime. So I'm just trying to tell you that what the ADC as a person has not even done this primary. People have not picked forms. There is no aspirant yet. But Atiku is doing what we call a political game, a political gimmick to put his own candidacy and interest ahead. And the truth is that if it goes on like this, and other political contenders did not come out to contest, automatically the party will have no choice So, but as of now, ADC has not put out funds for sales yet.
Okay.
So Atiku is not
But
yet.
doesn't that defeat
Thank
the
you.
purpose when he says he will support anyone who emerges as presidential candidate? Meanwhile, he's already putting himself forward when the party has not started the sale of forms, when the primaries have not been conducted, and he keeps claiming he will support anyone who emerges as candidate. Also, is there any, can you tell us, as a member of the ADC and a leader of the ADC in Ikorodu in Lagos State, is there any lobbying going on behind the back doors? Is there any way Atiku is trying to tell the people, look, when it comes to the primaries, I want you to vote for me and put me forward as the candidate of the ADC? Because you said Obi has not resigned from the Labour Party, so he's not fully a member of the ADC. Does that mean that the ADC will give Atiku more power over others?
No. The ADC, there is no lobbying going on at the moment. In fact, as of now, I can tell you that coalition is still ongoing. Probably in the next few days or weeks, we see Obi fully coming with the team. As I'm talking to you now, Labour Party in Lagos State have been joining in the past 1 month. We have Badebo led the team in Adamawa the first week that were attacked by the APC, allegedly by the APC. Then the second of the Salvador team from Surulere, coming into the party. So as we speak now, there is no lobbying for any team. Competition is on good.
All right. Honorable Sunday Oladakbo, we seem to be having a network situation there, but can you hear me? There is an interruption.
I can hear you.
Okay, beautiful. It's much better right now. All right. The next question I want to ask on the ADC is, Dinomilaye came out to warn Kogi State Governor Ododo, saying that the attack on the party office in Kogi is a threat to democracy, and he's also saying that the ADC will respond in a superior manner, that the ADC will match with superior response if there is any other attack. But the ADC did not match with superior response when Gbadebo Revival was attacked in Lagos. The same thing in Kaduna when El Rufai and others were meeting. The same thing when Malami's convoy was attacked in Kebbi State. How exactly is the ADC, one, responding to these attacks and trying to ward them off before 2027? Quite a number of Nigerians see this as a way to intimidate the ADC. So is the ADC going to allow itself to be intimidated? How is the party responding to these attacks across different states in the nation?
Yeah, ADC is a democratic party that we do everything within the ambit of law to respond. Dino Malaye saying is going to respond, doesn't mean is going to respond with Turkey as the ruling party to him, but women that are going to respond in that very ambit of law. Now, the one in Lagos was not envisaged at all. We never planned that a political party that entrenched himself, that's the so-called that say they are democratically democratic political party like APC, we are attacking other political parties because we believe it's a competition and it's democracy. People will have their way and they have their choice. So we were caught unaware in Lagos and other places that happened. And now Melaye, as one of the leaders of the party, is sounding the warning now in Kogi and to other places. And I believe this is the right time he has done that. The presidency need to call his team to order. It's not a do or die. If you have done well, the masses will support you. And if you have not done well, the masses will decide your fate. It's not about showing violence and trying to molest ADC. ADC will not be molested. We are too big for that. We are the main opposition party now. And I can tell you that come 2027, we are standing for the people and the people will vote for us.
All right, you're standing for the people and the people will vote for you. Let's talk about the situation where Yaga Africa has said that there is a major risk of compromise in the 2027 elections. There is a major risk that the elections may be rigged. There is a major risk of compromise. There is a major risk the election will be very, very expensive, that the opposition may not be able to live up to the expectations of Nigerians. So how's the ADC preparing to ensure that whatever compromise may come up before the 2027 elections, that they are going to be up to the task?
Well, the first compromise is the people. No matter how you want to rig an election, for example, if out of 10 million votes, I believe you cannot rig up to 10 million. Okay, let's say you rig 1 million, and the people decided to give their 9 million votes to us. the gap will be there and the true vote for people count. So the first solution we have is that the people need to be resolute, to vote their conscience, and to stand with the vote. That is number one. Because like you have said, even before Yaga said it, we all know it has shown in the runoff election that we have seen. We also saw that in 2023 during the governorship election. You know, when the APC discovered or see that they lost a lot of places during the presidential election, the subsequent election 2 weeks after was tugged. They were tugged everywhere. People were not allowed to vote. And we have seen that run again during all the runoff elections that we have seen now. And now it is obvious that Yaga is on point. Yaga is right. But the only solution is that the people must be determined. Just like what happened in 2015, when the people were determined that enough of PDP, and they voted against the party in power. So the same resolution now need to come into the mind of the people. That outside the people, there is nothing we can do, because they control the police, they control the INEC, they control every institution that we need for fair election. And like Yaga said, I believe that most Nigerians are not expecting them to give us a free and fair election. But as a people, our determination will give us what we want. So at the end of the day, our vote will count and our voice will show.
All right, then. There is a report currently making the rounds. This report was first released by Sahara Reporters. It was also backed up by parallelfacts.com, saying that President Tinubu has ordered the INEC chairman to take immediate leave over an alleged betrayal of the APC. And, of course, he's planning his replacement. We do know that the INEC chairman is meant to take a bow out in November after being there for about 10 years and conducting elections during his own tenure. But the reports here from these two media are saying that there was a complaint from the Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma, saying he complained to the president that the INEC chairman is approving new political parties toward the end of his tenure as a deliberate attempt to weaken the preparations of the APC for 2027, and also reportedly accused the INEC chairman of secretly backing a rival candidate in the forthcoming Imo governorship election. We know that the president derives his powers of appointment of anyone for INEC or any other commission from the Constitution. Now, these particular appointments are meant to be ratified or backed up by the National Assembly, and also before he leaves as well. I want to hear your take on this.
Well, I think anybody, Sahara Reporters, to me, I will not believe them in this, because I can tell you authoritatively that sometimes we just need to be careful of the gossip we want to believe. He said the INEC chairman betrayed APC, yet Hope Uzodinma from third came forth. He betrayed APC. The last election, APC still won. Now, APC has won many states in Southeast before any INEC chairman than this. APC has, even despite their unpopularity because of their of the policies, they are still winning states. And you are telling me that INEC chairman betrayed APC. What type of betrayal is that? So to me, I think that's not a news to me, because if Sahara is assuming APC had lost most of the run election, would have said, okay, truly it seems that the man is not playing according to what they want. So I don't believe that. I believe the man is going on his exit, because his 10 years is completing this year, I think at December or so. So the man needs to go, and there's this compulsory leave for public officers 3 months to the expiration so that they can cash their exit. So I believe that is what is happening. Because if they are using that one to deceive us so that they can now appoint a proper crony to head that commission, I think we cannot buy into that idea. I'm not buying into that.
But there have been fears of a crony being appointed into that particular position. You've had people from the opposition coming to say, in fact, one person came out earlier to say that there is somebody he feels that the president wants to appoint, and if that person is appointed, then even as Nigerians are complaining of INEC, the complaint will be much worse than before.
Yes, forever we complain about INEC until we can amend that part of the constitution that gives the power to appoint INEC chairman to the presidency. Because nobody will be in that seat that will now appoint his enemy to head that commission, because they know that is the commission that will return him. So the only solution is for us to change that part of the constitution so that either we can vote for INEC chairman, or I don't know how it can be appointed, because anything that takes the power away from the people and still give them to the politician, there is no difference. If the people, the masses, as we vote for the presidency, we can also vote for INEC chairmanship to head that commission for 5 years. I think that would be a bit better. But if you are saying that it should still go to the assembly who represent us, and then they pick and then vote as our representative, it will still come back to the same thing. So we like I said, no matter who is appointed, the determination of the peoples is what will carry the day. If we are determined to vote, more than 100 million people are determined to vote, then there is no crony that can turn a result that is 90 million difference.
All right.
No matter the rigging you do. Yeah.
But has the ADC been able to solidify its structure? Because you said one thing, that it is not possible that one can say the INEC chairman betrayed the APC if the APC has been winning elections, especially at the local levels with the by-elections that have been conducted recently. But we've not really seen where the ADC has that strong base at the grassroots.
Well, you are right. Like I said earlier, I believe that this year, 2025, is going to be used to solidify those grassroots. Because yesterday we still had meeting with... The
year is coming to an end, Honorable. The year is about... we have October, November, December.
That is what I'm saying here. To tell you that in the short while. Because it's coming to an end now. So, I believe that anything from January, we see all over the grassroots in Nigeria. Because, you know what, when you want to build a strong institution, you can't just do it in a hurry. It takes a lot of time. And now we are trying to bring in a PDP, a fraction of the major fraction of the PDP, who had an idea different to our own before now. Then a Labour Party that has a close idea, you know, the Gen Zs and the rest. So there is need to marry the two together, which is what is taking a little more time for us to do. And I believe why I said this here, I know it's running to an end. I'm saying so that you know that at most in 3 months, we should have a solid base that is ready to challenge the APC.
All right, then. Let's quickly go to Rivers State, right, where there were reports yesterday that the former Rivers administrator, Vice Admiral Ibok, aka IBAS, retired, was in Aso Rock, received by the president in company of the Minister of Finance, Coordinating Minister of the Economy, that's Wale Edun, as well as Chairman of the EFCC, Ola Olukoyede. We do know that the Rivers State House of Assembly made an attempt to probe the sole administrator, who said they have absolutely no power to probe him, as probing him will be like probing the president who appointed him, or probing the National Assembly that approved his appointment. Right now, he's been invited to Aso Rock in company. The EFCC chairman was there. The Minister of Finance was there. We're also getting reports that the EFCC chairman stepped out and came back with some files. Does this mean the president wants to probe him by himself? Are they trying to do some checks and balances of how all the federal allocation coming to Rivers State, which amounted to over 250 billion naira within that month, was spent?
Well, the presidency, I believe that need to step away. You know, fine. He has given a job. He appointed the SA, and he has done the 6 months. Now, fine, the oversight was done by the National Assembly, which is good. So I believe that for equity and fairness, because it is River State money, not federal government money. So the FG, bringing the EFCC and everybody to its table, I believe that there will be cover up, because they will not want to wash their dirty.
No, we still don't know if it's a probe. My question to you is, do you think that's what it is? Because he has said the Rivers State House of Assembly cannot probe him. So what's going on then?
I think is maybe a cover up, I think it's a cover up.
A cover up of what? How the funds were spent within the time he was administrator.
Trying to see if there is mismanagement. Exactly, trying to see if there is mismanagement, if there is this and that, if everything is to balance up the books. But I think the presidency and the National Assembly should see the power to probe this 6 months to the assembly in River State. It is River State money. It's not federal government money now. So they should be able to, okay, River State, you want to check the books. Oh, so administrator, please submit yourself to them. It's their money. Go and explain how you spend their money. And if it is for the appropriation, the National Assembly should also liaise with the River Assembly. Okay, this is what we approve for the sole administrator now take it over and look at it from there. It's not a big deal. But I think the president should be able to do that, and let have a clean file.
If the president has not said anything, do you think that means he supports what the sole administrator was saying, that the Rivers State House of Assembly cannot probe him? We rightly said it was Rivers State people's money that came in while their president was while their governor rather was suspended by the president. So what many people are asking is they want to know, what are the projects that he embarked on within that period? What was the money being spent on? But for the EFCC chairman to be there, that's what a lot of Nigerians are asking. So, okay, well, does this mean that finally we will see some form of accountability from this administration?
Well, maybe truly the Rivers State Assembly to probe him is a bit, except the National Assembly consider right, because their proportion they were equally suspended then. So they were not working at that time. But I believe that, like what I said earlier, the National Assembly should give them that right. Then accountability from this administration. Well, let's hope. Let's cross our fingers are crossed. Let's hope we can get one.
Our fingers are crossed. Let's hope we can get one. Let's talk about this other situation where the federal government has, or the President Tinubu has ordered a crackdown on everyone with a forged or fake certificate in every ministry, every department, every agency, whether it's a military, paramilitary institution, a civilian institution. He doesn't want to know. He's saying that there must be a crackdown on fake certificates, and there must be a nationwide verification of everyone in every institution, public or private. Everybody, every staff must be subjected to a verification of their certificates. This time around is not from the schools. It's okay, go to your school and bring the original transcript. There will be a database, a data bank, where it can be verified that yes, indeed, you attended this institution, you spent the time you're supposed to spend in this institution, you graduated, and this is your certificate, the proper one. What do you think about this situation, especially with some analysts warning that this policy could lead to widespread loss of jobs, especially in the public service, in private schools and tertiary institutions?
Well, the truth of the matter is that when this type of policy or situation steps are to be taken, it just creates another lacuna or another area for public service to make money through the back door.
In what way?
Because in the first place, to make money through the back door. Because in the first place, many people with such results were passed in by the same public servants who either they were paid for people to get the jobs, or some people were paid for you to access those jobs in the back previously. Now you are now saying the same public servant now to now again start verifying that these people have the correct results. Now when they see those who doesn't have the correct results, who are ready to bribe their way, they see it as another aspect to make money. Now, what happened to government? Now looking at it, like people have warned about loss of job. Now, why not put in now, okay, going forward, this is a step. Going forward, this is what we are doing. So that at the end of the day, we know that it is a system that is being changed. The institution is there. I was with some people, I think, on some job recently in Lagos State, and I see that they really take those verifications seriously now. So I don't think government coming in to do that for previous people working is like people have opinion. It's going to cause a lot of issues, and some people will make money through the back door through that issues. And we now come back to the same phase, whereby you don't want people with fake results to work, but people with fake results will now still be working and pay money to continue working. So the corruption you are trying to stop is still coming back to haunt you. So why are we going that way?
Before you go, Honorable Sunday Oladapo, I want to quickly talk about the wives of Adamawa State Local Government Chairman going to Turkey for training on how to assist their husbands in governance. They were sponsored by the local government chairman. They approved the leadership training for their wives to Istanbul in Turkey, saying that they are going there for a program to learn how to assist their government, their husbands in local government administration. And the people of the state are not happy about it, saying some people are still waiting to receive their pensions, their gratuities. Some teachers are still waiting to be paid. Some public infrastructure are still waiting to be better, to be upgraded, and they're sending their wives. Bear in mind that this is just 2 months, about 2 months ago, the local government chairmen themselves attended a similar overseas training. Last week, Governor Monday Okpewolo of Edo State was being dragged for going abroad to talk about how to make Edo State better. This is not the first time we are seeing a situation where people will gather, the public office holders will gather themselves from here or sponsor their people to go outside Nigeria and talk about how to make Nigeria better. Can't we have this kind of trainings in Nigeria? What is abroad that they want to go and have this kind of trainings there, or is this just an excuse to go on international trips, to go on vacations, and under the guise of trying to help the people?
Well, what I will say in this situation is that we deserve the people that ruled us, that are ruling us. We deserve them.
The people who are being owed gratuities, they deserve the leaders that are ruling them.
Yes, all of them, all of us deserve who are ruling us, because we never vote. That's what I'm saying. We never vote. Because most of us rely so much on the federal government. And we don't know that the government that is supposed to be closest to us is the local government. Local government elections are mostly neglected by more than 95%. They don't vote. They don't even come out do local government elections. And now, local government are receiving more funds. There is no project than their wives going out to go and learn how to assist their husband to govern well. No, it's a nice source, sincerely. But it will interest you to know that this same person will win their re-election in the contest election in that same state, in that same local government. Because a local government with a voting population of 100, you discover that the chairman win or won with less than 10 votes. Whereas another 910 refuse to vote. But when it is presidential election, all of us will grow muscle and we are ready to shout and jump up and down. Whereas local government that should be the most closest and that we should be most interested in, now they got more allocation. Every month the allocation are going on. My local government here, at least in a month, gets more than 1 billion. But what are they doing? Nothing. And
Honorable, this was the fear of some people for the local government autonomy ruling earlier. Right now, the Osun State government has warned the Minister of Finance against releasing funds to local government chairmen. Is it because of this kind of fears that the local government chairmen who are not used to having access to such funds may now start channeling it into the wrong quarters?
But the truth is that there is no house of government autonomy. That's not the truth. Because the government that is talking, they have been eating up government fund for many years now. So now the local government are eating their money together. But if local government autonomy will be for the people, I think number one is that INEC need to start conducting that election. The people's self-awareness on the importance of local government now need to follow a real social education on the importance of local governments. But people will only be interested if an unbiased umpire like INEC can now start conducting that election. Because when you have last year, you have your SIEC, you have all the SIEC, results in favor of the party, and nobody go and do. So that alone many people lose interest in voting for those elections. So local government autonomy should not be an excuse for government. And the Osun State saying they should not release money, I think it has to be with the issue he has with those local governments. Because at the time APC said they won through the court, the Osun conducted election and PDP won through their own writing result, also through their SIEC. So, and that has been a plug ahead, but I think from the court, since APC has an upper hand, and the federal government has seized their fund, and now they want to release it, and it doesn't want it released. So, that should not be an excuse for the local government chairman and their wife to spend waywardly. Autonomy, support it fully. Let us have a functional local government that can plan their budget, execute projects, based on what they want in their locality, not a spoon-fed LG that the government will have to tell them, go and do borehole, they will do. Don't do borehole, they will not do. No. We should have a functioning local government. So I support autonomy, but I don't support this reward spending and the rest.
All right, then. Honorable Sunday Moses Oladapo, I do thank you so much for joining me on the World News at 12 this afternoon. It's been an enlightening conversation. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much.
All right, then. Thank you. We have been speaking with Honorable Sunday Moses Oladapo, House of Assembly candidate of Ikorodu Constituency 1 in Lagos, and is also the leader of the ADC in Ikorodu and Lagos. And that's it on the World News at 12 for today. Before we go, let's take a look at the headlines again. You heard that Israel has slammed the leaders recognizing a Palestinian state. 6 rescued as 2-story building collapses in Lagos. Federal government launches crackdown on fake certificate and others nationwide verification. Wives of Adamawa local government chairman arrive in Turkey for training on governance assistance. And that is a wrap on the World News at 12. My name is Chioma Innocent. Please follow our social media handles at VOP903FM for coverage of your live event and brand news mentioned in our news bulletins. Do send a mail to news@thevoiceofthepeople.ng. Good afternoon and thank you for listening. Do stay tuned. The matters will be coming up by 1:30 p.m. with Solomon of M.